Hi guys, welcome back to Plow and Pantry. Today I have a threefer. That's right, I am hitting 3 marks today. I have one of those crazy busy nights. I'm gonna spatula real quick. I have one of those crazy busy nights where everyone is eating at different times and there's so much going on. So hit number 1, I am doing a soup that stays warm in the crock pot so that everybody can come and get it as needed and have home cooked food. Hit number 2, it's Crocktober, so Crockpot. And hit number 3, if you've been following me, is you know that I am doing a freezer challenge and I have several items from the freezer today. My sausage did not come out of the freezer. I do have some in the freezer, but I had fresh stuff to use up. So this is just mild Italian sausage. It was a pound of it that I got at the store and I browned it because that's the texture I like. In addition to that, from the freezer, I have some white beans. I usually can my beans. Sometimes I freeze them when I don't have time to can them. And when I freeze them, I put 2 cups in a bag, a freezer bag, because that's about how much is in 1 can. So if you have recipes that call for a can, you know a bag. And they also lie flat. So these were just white beans. Use cannellini beans, Great Northern beans, whatever white bean you like. And then also from my freezer, I have pesto. This is probably a little bit more than what would be in a jar of pesto. You could put in one of those little jars of pesto. We like pesto, so I'm not really worried about having all that in there. It's gonna taste good. Also from my freezer is some chicken bone broth. I normally don't freeze the chicken broth, but I did on this occasion because I didn't have time to can it. Tip, if you freeze broth in the jars, a wide mouth jar works better than the narrow mouth, but I was out at the time. These tend to crack while it's thawing. And my tip I've discovered, well, there's actually 2 things, is to take the lid off, put it in a bowl just in case it cracks, and put it in the fridge to thaw, so you have to plan ahead. But it needs to go in the fridge to thaw for obviously a lot longer than on the counter. If it thaws slowly, it doesn't crack. And then I also have, let's see, I'm putting in this is a spinach and arugula mix, some greens here. By the way, I'm not sure if I mentioned what I'm making. I'm making a sausage white bean pesto soup. So it's hearty. If I make soup in my family, it has to be hearty. I used some of that package. This is one of those 5-ounce boxes. I used some of it on a salad the other day. That was the remaining part. I'm gonna put in a little bit of salt, a little bit of onion powder, darn humidity, a little bit of onion powder, about a teaspoon, and also the same garlic powder, about a teaspoon. You could use chopped garlic if you want. And that is it for this. Kind of mix it up a little bit. It goes on low for 4 to 6 hours, and then when it is ready, the only ingredients I need to add are, I do chopped tomatoes mixed with balsamic vinegar as a little topping thing. I'll show you that when it gets there. But this is just gonna go on low for 4 to 6 hours. I'm gonna put it on 4 because this one tends to cook a little fast. But that is your first Crocktober recipe of the month for me, the sausage white bean pesto soup. It's delicious and it will help us tonight stay healthy and save money. All right, it is time to eat this and it is smelling delicious. The very last thing I do to serve it is I take some tomatoes. Right now I've got these little cherry size ones from the garden, so I'm chopping those up. You could use full-size ones. Actually, in the winter, what I use most often is some of my canned tomatoes. They work really well with this. I just take a few chopped up and a little bit of balsamic vinegar. Doesn't take much at all. And mix that up. And then get some of my soup here. Get some soup here and scoop it in. and put some of this little tomato topping with the balsamic just right on top, in the top middle there. I'm gonna take a little dribble of the vinegar too. And that is it. We have our sausage white bean pesto soup. It's really good. My kids refer to this as a soup that doesn't look pretty but tastes really good. The tomato topping makes all the difference too. You could sprinkle some parm if you want. Put an extra drizzle of balsamic. Both of those would be great options. Let me know if you give this a try, and I hope that you enjoy your soup season.